Hello students, I Rakesh Chauhan welcome you all in the e-learning classes of physics initiated by Suraj Group of Schools. In this video, we are going to discuss a very important term of chapter 4, that is motion in a plane, and this term is centripetal acceleration. So this centripetal acceleration is related to uniform circular motion, or in fact circular motion we can say. So we have discussed the circular motion or the basics of circular motion in our last video, in which we have discussed about what is circular motion, how it is different, what are the various kinds of circular motion: uniform circular motion, non-uniform circular motion, angular velocity, angular acceleration, the relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration, and the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity. So in this video we are going to discuss about centripetal acceleration, which is a unique kind of acceleration. Why I am calling it as unique kind of acceleration, you will see here in the diagram. So suppose this is the circular path of the particle, and in this circular path, suppose the radius of this path is suppose r. Okay, so particle is moving with uniform speed. We can say the particle is moving with suppose uniform speed, and the speed at point this is suppose v1. And if I talk about the velocity here, so it will be v1 vector. Okay, at this point the velocity, or we can say the speed, will remain same, but the velocity will change because the direction of this particle is changed. We know that velocity consists of both direction as well as magnitude. Therefore, since in circular motion the direction of particle is changing at each and every point, therefore the velocity will keep on changing at each and every time. But the magnitude of velocity, which is known as speed, will remain constant if this circular motion is uniform circular motion. So we are talking about the uniform circular motion here, and in this uniform circular motion velocity will be keep on changing, but the speed will remain same. So if I ask you that is there any kind of acceleration, so you will say yes, because acceleration is due to the change in velocity. Acceleration is due to the change in velocity. Now here the velocity is basically changing not because of change in speed, but because of change in direction. So here, since the direction of this particle is keep on changing at each and every point, therefore the velocity will be keep on changing, and every time the velocity changes, then acceleration will be there. So this is a special type of acceleration which actually exists due to the change in direction of the particle, not because of the change in speed of the particle. So this is the main, or we can say unique type of acceleration. Now let us find the direction of this acceleration. So this acceleration is always acting towards the center of this circular path. So at point here, if I denote it by P, then the acceleration will be towards the center in this direction, and at point Q, suppose the acceleration will be in this direction. So this will be the direction of acceleration, and that is why it is known as centripetal acceleration. You can take one example also to understand the concept of centripetal force, or why centripetal force is essential for any circular motion. So if you are having a stone which is bounded by a thread, and you are basically moving this thread or this stone with the help of this thread over your head in horizontal planes, then if the thread breaks at some time, then the stone will not be executing the circular motion. So what will happen? The stone will go tangentially at suppose this point the thread breaks, or you just escape this rope, then definitely the particle or that stone will go tangentially, means there will be no circular motion. So circular motion, or every circular motion, needs a special kind of acceleration, which is centripetal acceleration, and due to this the force which acting towards the center is known as centripetal force. So in your mind there may be several questions that our earth is moving around sun in a specific path. So this is also the example of circular motion. So is there any type of centripetal force, and if yes, then from where this force comes? So this is suppose earth, or we can say this is suppose sun, and this is our planet, that is earth. Then this earth is moving in circular path, and we have just discussed that whenever there is circular motion, there will be a centripetal force acting towards the center. So here the force will be from gravitational force, because we know that our earth has some mass and sun has some specific mass, then definitely they will be attracted by each other by the gravitational force, and this gravitational force will be acting towards the line joining these or we can say earth and sun. That's why this gravitational force act or serve as the centripetal force. Let us take the example of electron revolving around nucleus. So this is also revolve in specified circular paths. So suppose this is electron and this is nucleus, which is positively charged. So you know that electron possess negative charge, and this nucleus consists of positive charge because it has protons within it. So therefore there will be a force of attraction between these two particles, negatively charged particle and positively charged nucleus. So this electrostatic force will be acting as centripetal force. So there are numerous of examples through which you can easily understand that whenever there is circular motion, or wherever there is circular motion, there will be a centripetal force essentially, or centripetal acceleration essentially working towards the center of that circular path. And this centripetal acceleration is a special kind of acceleration because it exists due to the change in direction of the particle, not because of the change in speed of that particle, because we know that earth moves around sun in or with uniform velocity, or likewise the electron moves around this nucleus with uniform speed, but we can say the direction of this electron or earth is keep on changing, therefore the velocities keep on changing, and that's why the existence of this centripetal force is. So I hope this concept might be clear to you, that what is centripetal acceleration and how it is so important or unique to other acceleration. Now let us derive the formula of the centripetal acceleration for uniform circular motion. So for this we will use this diagram. So here in this diagram, suppose this is point O, which is the center of this circular path, and suppose this is position vector of point P, which is denoted by R1 vector, although it is the magnitude is equal to radius. This is R2 vector, suppose position vector of this Q point, and I have assumed that the center of this circular path is circular loop is at center or origin, we can say. So that's why this this OP vector will represent the position vector of P point, and this OQ vector will represent the position vector of this Q point. And the velocity at point P is V1 vector, and the velocity at point Q is V2 vector, although the magnitude are same. So I can write down from the diagram here as mode of V1 vector is equals to mode of V2 vector is equals to v, suppose, because the magnitude of these velocities vector are same, because magnitude of velocity represent speed and speed is constant. Similarly, mode of r1 vector is equals to mode of r2 vector is equals to r, which is the radius of the circular path, because the length is same but the direction is somehow different, therefore the magnitude will be same. So we will use this concept further. Now if I ask you that what will be the displacement of the particle from P to Q, so you will say the straight distance between P and Q point. So this will be the displacement, and you know the displacement is denoted by delta r vector, I can say. This is suppose delta r vector, which is the displacement from P to Q. And this angle I have assumed as delta theta. This is angular displacement, which is denoted by suppose delta theta. So this triangle represent r1 vector, r2 vector and delta r vector. Similarly, we will construct a different triangle which consists of v1 vector, v2 vector and delta v vector, change in velocity vector. Okay, so for this I have just put this v1 vector here, not changing its magnitude and direction according to the rules of vectors. This is v1 vector, and I have placed the tail of this v2 vector at the tail of this v1 vector without changing the direction and magnitude of v2 vector. So suppose this is the v2 vector. So this was v1 vector, this is v2 vector. And now if I join these 2 points or the head of these vectors, then definitely they will represent change in velocity vector, that is delta v vector. And I have denoted this triangle as O dash, P dash, Q dash. And this angle you can check will be same as that of this angular displacement, which is delta theta. So you can easily check this angle, that this angle between v1 vector and v2 vector will be same as that between r1 vector and r2 vector. So this is another triangle which we have constructed with the help of this diagram. This triangle will help me in solving or deriving the expression. So now these 2 triangles are similar. I am saying that these 2 triangles are similar. You will say why? Triangle OPQ and triangle O dash, P dash, Q dash are similar. Why they are similar? Because this angle delta theta and delta theta are same, we can say. Okay, and this distance and this distance are same, therefore this angle and this angle will be same. So suppose this angle is x and this angle is also x. Okay, you also know that this length and this length is also same. Mode of v1, mode of v2 is also same for uniform circular motion. Therefore this angle and this angle will also be same. So suppose this is y, and so definitely this would be y also. Now the total sum of the angles of triangle will be 180 degree. So here delta theta plus 2y plus, or we can say, is equal to 180 degree. Here also delta theta plus x 2x is equals to 180 degree. And if I compare these 2 equations, so these will be cancel out. So 2x is equal to 2y means x is equal to y. So जो ये एंगल है वही एंगल ये भी होगा, ऐसा हम कह सकते हैं. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि इन दोनों ट्राइंगल्स में ये सेंटर पे जो एंगल है O पे वो डेल्टा थीटा, यहाँ भी डेल्टा थीटा। ये जो एंगल x था वो y के इक्वल है, मतलब ये दोनों एंगल्स भी इक्वल हैं। तो इस ट्रायंगल के या इन दोनों ट्रायंगल के तीनों एंगल्स जो हैं वो सेम हैं। और अगर किसी दो ट्रायंगल के तीनों एंगल सेम हो जाते हैं तो उन ट्रायंगल्स को हम सिमिलर ट्रायंगल्स कहते हैं। दिस इज द प्रॉपर्टी ऑफ सिमिलर triangles. You must have studied in mathematics also. So therefore, since all the three angles are similar or same, that's why these two triangles are similar. And you know that the property of similar triangles is the ratio of their corresponding sides is also same if the two triangles are similar. So I'm using that concept here. I will use the side this for this triangle, and the corresponding side will be this for this triangle, and you can take OP as well as OQ for the other arm, you can say. So the ratio of delta R, or I can say PQ upon OP, PQ upon OP is equals to P dash Q dash upon O dash P dash, O dash P dash. So if these two triangles are similar, then the ratio of their corresponding sides will be same. Now what is PQ? So you will say PQ is delta R vector, or magnitude of delta R vector, if I take only magnitude. So mod of delta R vector divided by what is OP. So you will say OP is mod of R1 vector, mod of R1 vector is equals to, or mod of R1 is equal to mod of R2 is equal to R. So I can write down here as R also. Okay, what is P dash Q dash? So P dash Q dash is mod of delta V vector. What is O dash P dash? So O dash P dash is mod of V1 vector, which we can also represent as V vector. Okay, now what we are going to do, we will find out this, or we will write down mod of delta V vector here as mod of V, or simply we can denote it by V also. You can write down these two as mod of R1 is equal to mod of R2 is equal to R, or mod of V1 mod of V2 is equal to V. So this can be written as V upon R. If I multiply this V here, V upon R, and mod of delta R, mod of delta R. Now if I divide these two equations by delta T, dividing both sides by delta T. Why we are doing so? Because if I divide delta V to delta T, then it will give acceleration, and we want to derive the formula of acceleration. So dividing both sides by delta T, mod of delta V vector upon delta T is equals to V upon R mod of delta R vector upon R. Or you can simply write down it as delta V delta R, as we have write down R and V. So now if I take limits, taking or putting limit delta T tends to 0 both sides. So here limit delta T tends to 0 mod of delta V upon delta T is equals to limit V upon R. There will be no limit because this is constant. V upon R limit delta T tends to 0 mod of delta R upon R. Oh sorry, R we have taken here. This was delta T, actually this was delta T. So if we put the limit delta T tends to 0 here, then this delta will become D. So it will become dV upon dt. Similarly, V upon R will be as it is, but if you put the limit delta T tends to 0 here, it will become it will become dr upon dt. And now this dr upon dt can be written as, and this is rate of change of displacement. So this is known as velocity. And this is dv upon dt, rate of change of velocity. This is acceleration, and the acceleration here is centripetal acceleration. Therefore I am writing down dv upon dt as ac. This is v upon r, and this dr upon dt is also v. So it becomes v square upon r. So this is the formula of centripetal acceleration which we want to derive. This is very, very important formula, centripetal acceleration. So you must remember this formula. Okay. One more thing I would like to tell here is, if I put the value of v in terms of omega, so it will become omega square r square, because v is equal to omega r, divided by r. So it comes out to be omega square r. So you must remember both these formulas. AC is equal to v square upon r or omega square into r. If linear velocity is given, then we will use this formula. If angular speed is given, we will use this formula. Now we will write down the formula of centripetal force. This was centripetal acceleration. Now centripetal force. So as you all know that centripetal force, or any force, centripetal force denoted by Fc. So using second equation of motion, F is equal to mass into acceleration, and here the acceleration is centripetal acceleration, therefore the force will be centripetal force. So Fc is equal to m into ac. Suppose the mass of this particle is m. So if I multiply the acceleration by mass of that particle, it will give force. Mass acceleration is v square upon r, or we can say omega square into r. So this will be the formula of centripetal force. So you must remember this formula also. This is centripetal force. So whenever the particle is doing uniform circular motion or circular motion, there will be a force always acting towards the center of that particle, which is known as centripetal force. This is how you can define the centripetal force or centripetal acceleration. The acceleration which always act towards the center of the circular path is known as centripetal acceleration, and the corresponding force acting towards the center of that circular path is known as centripetal force. So this is all about the centripetal acceleration and centripetal force. Thank you very much for watching this video.